Hoi! AGS announced something that I was expecting to come, but not in the way that it came. The fresh start status will be removed from SUTEC, and this is something we'll probably see for other servers in the future as well. The reason in SUTEC's particular case is quite obvious. The population on that server is simply too small, and you can't really do many things anymore there because there's just not enough players around for that. During many hours of the day, there are less than 100 players online. They do, however, say that in accordance with the initial promise when Fresh Start came out, they're not gonna merge the last existing Fresh Start server per region. I think this promise was always risky to begin with. They also further say that nonetheless abandoning a world is not an option, so in an effort to sustain and grow community numbers for eligible worlds, they want to remove that Fresh Start tag so that people can merge into it and consider further remedies. Now this is weird because in an earlier dev talk they specifically said we're not gonna merge the Fresh Start servers into other servers, but if there are no players left on them, then so be it. They didn't say that they were planning to try and keep those servers alive, which I'm pretty sure will be a futile effort at least for a while. They specifically say that SUTEC will be the first server they're doing this with, so it sounds like this is planned for others in the future, and with SUTEC being probably the emptiest as well, it's probably just a test version of how this will go, and depending on how well it goes, they will decide what to do with other regions. So on May 24th, the Fresh Start indicator will be removed, and the character transfer restrictions will be lifted so you can transfer in and out easily, and you will also not be forced to move or merge into another world. To encourage people moving into other servers, there's also a double XP event for certain things from the 24th of the 5th to the 7th of the 6th. This XP bonus is a 2x bonus for normal leveling XP, gathering, refining, and fishing. In other words, if you ever wanted to boost a Smurf to level 60, that'll be a very, very easy way to do it. I think the removal of the Fresh Start tag in itself is good. I believe that in the long run, they'll probably do another round of Fresh Starts eventually, and when that happens, then it wouldn't really make sense for the old Fresh Starts to serve that label as well, because if people come back to the game or are new to the game and see those labels, they're gonna think that these are all new servers in that sense, when many of them may be over a year old, so that label shouldn't stay on those servers forever. The question is if they're gonna stick to their promise of not merging, or if now that those servers are no longer considered Fresh Start servers, they are also open for merging them. This is obviously playing around with the technicality here, but if the server doesn't recover, then there isn't really much of a reason to stay afloat or try to keep it afloat. I think they're intentionally a bit vague with how they're wording things here, how they're phrasing things here, so that they have that option to eventually merge the server into the others as well, even though as Fresh Start servers that wasn't possible. Because they only promise that they are not going to merge Fresh Starts, but if they aren't Fresh Starts, you can technically merge them. I believe that in the case of SUTEC, a lot of people are just on that server because they don't want to pay for the transfer fee to another server at this point, so I don't think that many people would be upset about a merge anymore at this point. The problem that AP Southeast is facing is not that there aren't enough people that want to play on SUTEC, but just that there aren't enough players in general to fill two servers at the moment. This may change at some point in the future, which is probably why it's okay for them to keep SUTEC somewhat alive as well, but for now I would not recommend to anyone who's currently on Delos to transfer over to SUTEC. You're just gonna have exponentially longer PvP and PvE content queues. The only thing that you gain in return is slightly higher chances to own some territories that will bring relatively little gold anyways. For PvPers, you will also be in a significantly less competitive environment. But it is an interesting experience to see what will happen with this server next. I have a Smurf there myself, so I might just get it to 60 finally, because why not? Should be quick and easy enough. And maybe by the time the expansion comes around, that second server may be needed again. What's also needed is us talking about the upcoming perk changes, as well as Fortify versus Elemental version in Heavy Armor. That's gonna happen in the next days, so consider subscribing and clicking the bell if you're interested in that. If you want to get early trading tips, you can join my Patreon. Thanks to all the patrons that support me there already. SLOTH out.